forearm stand tutorial. La la la. Forearm stands are probably the most challenging of arm balance / inversions because it's almost as challenging of a balance as handstand, but requires more strength than handstands and headstands. It's a lot of shoulder strength, specifically in your like traps, your triceps, your lats, that. So let's just do a little bit of a warm-up. Not a big one, but we'll do a little bit of a warm-up for it, and then I'll show you how it's done. Mostly it just takes a lot of trial and error, if I'm being honest. Let's go into downward dog. And just breathe. Get those shoulders warm. Inhale, come to plank and hold it. Again, warming up shoulders, core, hug your thigh muscles to the bones. Imagine there's a wall behind your heels. Bring the left knee in and out. Right in and out. Little like mini kind of mountain climbers. I'm not jumping. It's yoga stuff. So just warming up the abs. We need those for forearms, stands. Back to downward dog. Let's take the right leg up. I'm not bendy, you can see it's morning for me here, so I'm just, not going to my full extent of flexibility, just lifting the leg up, stepping it through. Come into a lunge, shoulders relax, lift the chest, breathe. So whoop, trying to find that nice long line here. Big breath in, hands down, step back to plank, chaturanga. Hold it for a breath. Didn't see that coming. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Left side, left leg up. Step it through. Find your balance. Come to a lunge. Arc the back up. Tailbone away from the waist. Zip up through the midline. Feel that zipping through the midline because you're going to need that for your forearm stand. Breathe. Big breath in. Hands down, step back. Plank. Chaturanga, hold it. Breath in. Breath out, use your legs. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Let's come onto the forearms. You can bring your hands to touch or you can plant them here. When we start to learn forearm stands, we have hands on the ground like this. And we'll do a little bit of dolphin to down dog, so downward dog, and then come to dolphin. Downward dog. And then dolphin. And downward dog. Let's hold it. It's dolphin, downward dog, sorry. Bring your left foot to the center of the mat and lift your right leg up. So get used to this balance, this teetering on two forearms. Switch sides. So you can shift the right foot to the center, lift the left leg up. Breathe. Gently release. Come into a child's pose, palms face up, forehead on the ground. Take a little breather. If you want a little bit more of a warm-up for your midline, you can do some warrior threes. Those can be very helpful. We can also come onto our bums here and just do a little boat pose in Avasana. And maybe we'll do it into a low boat and then a high boat and a low boat just to really get our abs engaged. Okay, come back onto your knees. Forearm stand. Okay, so plant your elbows underneath your shoulders, your palms on the ground, monster hands, fingers spread super wide, okay? Now, I find it helps if you bring your elbows under your shoulders, a little bit in, and then push it out. Elbow under the shoulder, push it in, and then a little out. It's subtle. I'm doing it like this. Kind of locks your elbows in place. Now, think about bringing your armpits down and in, your shoulders really away from your ears, as if you're like a turtle poking his neck out of his shell. That's kind of how it feels, turtle poking the neck out. So really draw those shoulder blades down the back, long neck. Think about spreading out here through your trapezius muscle, like moving them away from each other. Literally turtle poking its neck out of a shell. Okay, so hold that. Lift your bum, walk your feet in as much as possible, and then lift one leg up. Zip the lower belly so much. Your top leg here is your puller, and then you just slowly teeter up, if you can, off the top leg. And maybe the first time you jump and don't find balance. If you find balance, you come all the way up. So one more time. I'll try the other side. You can shake it out if you need to. So elbows go under the shoulders, and we bring it in a little bit, then out, in like an inch, okay? Hands on the ground. Armpits down and in. Keep your elbows splaying inwards. That's one of the biggest compensations people do, is splay the elbows out and then kind of sink into their shoulders like this. You really have to use a lot of shoulders here. So you're really pushing into the ground with your elbows. Mostly the elbows push and the wrists push as well, but mostly the elbows. And then think about drawing down and out through your traps. Turtle poking its head out. You lift up, walk the feet in, lift the right leg up, use your abs, draw through the midline, and just take a tiny hump, okay? And where you want to look is up to you, but the gaze definitely helps with the posture, okay? So if you want to go straight, you look between your elbows. If you want to go into like a back bend, you'd look between your hands. Honestly, so much of this pose is just trial and error. When I learned it, I would just go to a park and practice over and over again and fall a lot. I'm going to show those of you who are at home, if you want to try it with a wall, I'll show you a way to do it with a wall. All right, I don't have a wall, but I do have a palm tree. Now, this ground is not even. Hopefully, wherever you are, it's a bit more stable. We'll see how we go. But if you want to practice this against a wall, this is how you'll do it. You find yourself about a leg's length away from the wall, maybe a bit less. And then you put your elbows where your hips were. Ooh, really uneven. And then you plant your palms. Now, caveat. Some people I know, you've seen Pincha do this, like this. If your shoulders are a bit tighter, this is fine, but only when you've already built up the strength from doing it this way. This way is a lot more trapezius strength and serratus anterior. And so just practice it like this until you really have the balance and the strength there. So better, easier foundation. Yeah, so we can come here, same thing, come into downward dog, and then just walk your feet up the wall. You can do an L stand. And you're welcome to hold this to work on your strength, and then just lift one leg up at a time and practice, you know, teetering off your wall, or in my case, palm tree. Whoop. Yeah, so that's how you practice Pincha. Literally, as I was recording this, I got someone who made a comment on my Instagram, like, I can't hold Pincha for that long. That's okay. I've been practicing yoga for 15 years. In the last couple of months, actually, I've been doing weights quite a bit for the first time in my life. I've been doing like weight exercises 3 times a week, kind of stuff like this. And it's helped so much. It's made me so much stronger in my yoga practice, and also like in my core, so I'm doing a lot longer holds. But it comes with time. Of course, when I first started learning these poses, I couldn't hold them for a minute. I would hold it for a second and feel that hang time and be like, woohoo, you know, hang time. And I know how good that feels to get that little float even for a half a second. And so you just keep practicing, and then a half a second turns into a second might turn into 5 seconds and 10 seconds. And over time, you can really build up your Pincha. Let me know how it goes. Can't wait to hear about your results.